say this. First off, probably about 50 people total, all 4 showings of the movie.
All 4?
All 4 showings, 50 people total. The most packed showing we had was the first one. And it was mainly packed because I think all the parents was bringing their kids to that show. There was a kid who, whenever the movie was done, he was like,
Yeah,
what
spoilers.
was that? Oh, yeah, there are
Spoilers.
spoilers coming.
Okay, go ahead.
The kid literally said as the movie ended, what was that? Like, he did not understand what was going on, did not have a good time. But they were very well behaved. It was pretty cool. Okay, so this movie literally does not know what to do with Morbius the whole time. Like, has no clue what they're doing with him. They are so confused. It starts off with them in Puerto Rico, and it does that, in the trailer, how it has him cut his hand and they have the bats.
Uh-huh.
It does that, and then it shoots 25 years in the past, showing him as a kid. And then after that, it shoots back into the future. You don't know how he gets these bats back to create this new serum that he's making, but he makes this serum that he injects it to a rat, and he thinks the rat dies, but the rat doesn't die. And then it comes back to life, and he's like, oh, that's going to be my magic stuff that I can turn people into or cure this blood disease that I have. So they end up going into international waters, and then you remember the dude in The Mummy? One of the guys that sold the vases? He was the really like country guy in The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. He's in it. He's one of the mercenaries. And he's the first one to die, of course, because Morbius injects the stuff into his back, turns into a vampire, goes on a bloodlust, eats everybody, somehow forgets everything he just did, even though he remembers the girl. Checks all the cameras, sees that he did it all, and he's like, okay, well, I need to call in a mayday so that the girl who got injured, who is his love interest, will be saved, and they can go on with it. So he does that. The FBI agents show up, which are the worst FBI agents I've ever seen in a movie. Like, these guys are morons. Tyrese is, yes. He is.
Tyrese is in this
yes.
movie?
Hey, you know what he does in the movie? Nothing. He doesn't do anything. The whole movie, this is what he does. He shows up.
Did no one audition for this movie?
No, I guess not. He shows up, and he's like, I'm an FBI agent. The rest of the movie, this is all you get from him. No, don't do that. Why did that happen? And then he does this a lot. He goes, and that's it. That's Tyrese. Whole movie. That's all he does. Whole movie.
Wow.
So you go back to Jared Leto. Jared Leto's all like, oh, man, I drank all this blood, and I'm super strong, and I'm in great shape, and I look like a vampire Jesus. I look awesome. And then he's like, oh, I'm starting to feel weak. And then his bones and everything start to, like, pop out because, like, his sickness means that his bones are really weak and that his muscles are, like, deteriorating and stuff like that. So that starts to happen. He's like, oh, I need to take some blood. Well, his big claim to fame was that he made artificial blood. So he takes some artificial blood, and he's just right back to being strong again. And he goes through this whole talk about how he's just, he's felt better than he's ever felt in his entire life, and he's been sick since he was a kid, and now he's super strong and super yoked, and he's so happy. But he's got a timer. He's only got 6 hours on artificial blood, which is blue. You know what color real blood is?
Purple?
Red. You know what they call blood the entire movie?
What is it?
Red.
What?
So they literally call blood in the movie red.
Real blood or the fake blood?
No, real blood. Real blood's red. Fake blood's blue. They had to establish. They had to be like, are you on blue or red right now?
But isn't blood in your body blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think so.
Isn't that supposed to be? Isn't that like?
Is that a myth?
Yeah.
Is that a myth?
I don't know, but now I'm super confused. Is it red or blue, Grayson?
What? Real red?
What's blue?
Blue is artificial.
I'm just playing.
Blue is artificial.
I'm just playing.
Yeah,
I
know, right?
get what's
But they
happening.
clear that up real quick. They make sure that you know that. But my issue is while he's doing all this, he says that he has to be on blood the whole time so that he can stay in a normal form.
Uh-huh.
But if he goes off of the blood, he will start to go back to his weakened form.
Okay.
But also, he'll go into a bloodlust, which doesn't make any sense to me. Because is he going to be bloodlusted and just laying on the ground because he can't run after people?
Yeah, there's no danger to him.
But guess what? They never explain that.
Like the adrenaline doesn't kick in.
They make it seem like it never happens. That plot point, like the huge hole that's there, just stays there the whole fucking movie.
Does he stay strong the whole time?
Yeah. Do I know how he stays strong? Nope. Do they explain it? Nope. Is it because he drinks blood? Could be. But then you get introduced to the villain. And let me tell you about this sack of shit. This guy is terrible. He is by far the worst Marvel villain I've ever seen in a movie, bar none. There is nobody worse than this guy.
Who plays the villain?
It's the guy who played Doctor Who, one of the Doctor Who's. I think his name was Matt Smith.
Matt Smith. He's the guy from The
He's
Crown.
the guy.
That guy's an incredible actor.
Oh, he's great. He's not great in that
the
movie,
blonde
though.
guy?
And it's not his fault. I will say it is not his fault. I will not blame him for that because he just had a really tough
Philip?
character to play.
Does he play Philip?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, King.
Oh.
Oh, is that the actor's actual name?
Matt Smith. Yeah.
His name? Oh, I always thought that was a doctor's name. I thought he played the doctor. Matt
Oh,
Smith.
no.
Oh, okay. So he's like Morbius's best friend. They've known each other since they were kids. Like Morbius saved him as a kid because he fixed the blood transfusion. They have to get blood transfusions the whole time because their blood cells don't work right. So they're basically having to get blood recycled in their body to keep them going.
Okay.
So he has to come in there to save him because Morbius was creating a test on himself to see what would happen if he completely stopped taking all blood. Matt Smith shows up. He's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" After he gives him blood, and he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my God, you're strong." He's like, "You fixed yourself." And he goes, "It comes with a curse." And he goes, "I've done bad things." And Matt Smith's like, "It's okay. We've all done bad things." Morbius goes, "I killed people." So Matt Smith's return is, "It's okay. We could cover that up. Give me what you have." So I'm sitting in theaters and I'm watching it, and I'm like,
Give me what you have.
I just kind of stare at it, and I'm like, does this guy just tell him that he killed people? And he's like, "I want that."
Me too, buddy.
He literally says, "I'm tired of being sick. I want to be like you." After he tells him I killed people and I have a curse, and he sees him like Morbius goes like that whole vampire thing, like he pops up the vampire face and he goes back to normal, which they use a lot in that movie. And then Morbius was like, "No, you need to leave." They yelled at him. He goes and runs. But of course, Matt Smith happens to have the serum himself. Like he happened to grab it on his way out. Never see him do it, but it's assumed that he does. Next scene is some weird looking thing in a hallway that bites a nurse. Turns out to be Matt Smith. You never see the guy inject the stuff. You never see anything about how he would know how to inject it or where it needs to go. He just knows right off the bat. Knows how to do it. Knows how to get into a room in the building that he knows nothing about. But he does it. All that happens. The father figure, who you think is going to be a huge part of the movie, is only in 3 scenes. He shows up and he starts talking to... Oh, that's later on. Hold on. Let me go back. Jared Leto then decides that he's going to talk to the woman who is unconscious and tell her that, "Oh my God, I'm sorry I put you on that boat. I'm sorry I went crazy, but we got to figure out how to stop this." And she's like, "Okay, but can you drink this coffee first?" And she moves it into the sun. Now, when they first met up, Jared Leto and her are both out in broad daylight. They're both on a bus together. The only thing that's covering Jared Leto is a hoodie. So she still is like, "I want you to touch this. It's in the sunlight to see if you're going to catch on fire or if you're going to melt." And he touches it and he's like, "Oh yeah, not that type of vampire." Nobody in the theater laughs. Nobody says anything. In fact, there's just people moaning at how cheesy it was.
All right.
So these 2 random thugs come in and they have counterfeit bills. I don't know what they're paying for here. It's a restaurant, but they don't have any food. They just walk in and they hand 100 over. And they're like, "Oh, hey, we need to get back to the lab." Morbius hears that and he's like, "Okay, I need to go take this lab." He shows up to the lab and he's like, "Oh man, I love that movie y'all are watching. Is this the part where the guy in the hoodie, which he's wearing, shows up and kicks everybody's ass?"
Nuh-uh.
Yes. He says
No.
that. He says that.
No. Hang on. There's guys in a place.
I'm so lost.
There's
It's a lab, my bad.
What
It's a
about-
lab.
Okay. Okay, let me get this straight. There's guys in a lab watching a movie about a guy in a hoodie kicking ass.
No, it's a kung fu film, but he says that there's
Yeah.
a guy with a hoodie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jared Leto says this in the hoodie,
Yes.
and then what probably happens next is Jared Leto in the hoodie, then kicks their ass.
Only one. Because it's one guy who shows up and goes, "Hey, you need to get out of here before I mess you up." And he goes, The only thing that's going to get messed up are your two boys over here. And then he pulls out a knife, and you know what Morbius does? He grabs it. And then he goes into this talk about how many bones are in a human's hand, and he breaks them all.
Oh.
He even breaks, and I quote, the stinky pinky.
He says that in the
He
movie?
says the stinky pinky. So he breaks it, and then the guy goes, "Who are you?" What do you think he says, Sean?
He in the trailer he goes, "I'm James I'm Venom." Just kidding. I'm Morbius at your service.
Well, it's half right. He just says, "I am Venom," and then the guy runs off. They don't even have the part where he goes, "Just kidding."
Oh, that was like a
Really?
edit?
That
Yeah,
was like the
they
only
cut it
funny
out.
part of the.
Oh, the scene in the trailer to where he walks by the alleyway and Spider-Man's on the wall in that poster doesn't exist at all. They completely
Why
take
would
it
they
out.
do that?
To get you to go watch
Yeah,
the movie.
exactly.
That's clickbait.
Oh, wait till I get to the after credit scene. We got a whole hell of a doozy to talk about on that one.
Okay.
So he now has this lab. Well, after he gets done taking some things apart to where he can build his own thing, it's time to cut back to the villain. And guess what the villain's doing?
Same thing.
Doing a dance.
What?
He dancing. His shirt's off, and he's just doing this the whole time.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he is.
Is this
He's
in the
doing that,
deleted
and he's
scene?
like spinning around
Does
and
he
everything.
love his body?
Oh, he loves it. He loves every bit of it. So you know what he's got to do?
What's it?
He's got to go out on the town. So he gets all dressed up. He combs his hair back. He throws the comb away. He goes out on the town. He gets to a bar. There's a cute little lady sitting there. Buys them both a drink. They take the shots. He tells them, tequila to remember, whiskey to forget. Well, then a guy that has to be standing beside her says, "Hey, back off, Jack." Not exact words. But the guy's like, "Hey, I'm just talking to the lady." And then he tells him that she's his. Well, Matt Smith doesn't like that and calls him an asshole so he'll get out of his way. The guy pushes him in the chest. Matt Smith goes, "Another time," and leaves. Next scene. 3 guys walk out of that same bar. They're laughing, thinking they're so cool. Up on the rooftop, not click, click, clicking down the chimney of St. Nick. No, it's Matt Smith looking down at him.
What's his name in the movie?
Milo.
Milo.
His name's Milo.
Fucking lie.
Oh, his name's Milo.
Oh, is it really? I thought you were
I
making
forgot
it
to
up.
tell you all this part. My bad. Hold on. Backtrack all the way to the beginning. When Morbius first meets him as a kid, he calls him Milo. And the kid goes, "My name's not Milo, it's Lucius." And he goes, "The last kid who was here who died was named Milo." And he goes, "Yeah, and the one before that was named Milo, and the one before that was named Milo. You're Milo." He gives him the name Milo, and everybody calls him Milo. He names him after a dead kid. So that just becomes his nickname. Anyways, cuts back. Matt Smith jumps down there, eats them all. Cops show up. For the first time, they decide, hey, maybe we should check the cameras to see who's doing this. And I'm in the theater going, "You fucking think? You're fucking FBI agents." So then, after that happens, Morbius goes to jail. He's in jail. He tells them, "You won't like me when I'm hungry." Of course, Matt Smith goes in. Morbius finds out that Matt Smith is shockingly, he's a vampire too now because he took the virus. Morbius jumps out. They get into a fight. They go into the train station, and then they proceed to ram the fuck out of slow motion into your head. It is just cram it in as much as you can. You're going to fucking love this by the end of the movie. Just slow motion, every fight scene. It's just getting crammed in there. Why does he go to jail? Because they believe that Morbius is the one going around killing everybody.
When it's really Milo.
Yeah. And the boat that Morbius was on whenever he did the whole thing, like, everybody was dead on that, so they had reasonable cause to bring him in.
So Morbius is a villain.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know.
But Milo is more the villain.
Oh, I'm about to get to that.
Oh, okay.
So they get into a fight. He realizes that eventually he's going to have to kill Milo. I think I'm a little out of order. Like, the dance happens after all that in the lab, so I got those confused. But finally getting down to the climax, the dad figure, who's a doctor who's been taking care of them all their lives, goes to Milo and is like, hey, son, I saw the FBI put the video on the TV. I saw what you did. I'm here to help you. Milo's all like, oh, you always just went on Morbius' side. You never believed in me. The doctor says the most cold-blooded line ever. He goes, I dedicated my entire life to you, and you're acting like a little whiny baby.
He says that.
Then he says a little child.
Yeah.
So then Matt Smith goes and looks out the window, and the doctor's like, I can help you. We can get through this together. And then Matt Smith looks back at him and goes, he says something like the Spartans, the few against everyone else or something like that. They say it like 8 times. I forgot about it because it's so stupid. And then he cuts the dad's stomach open, and then he like cuts open his neck, and then he has Morbius listen in basically. Or no, he has him call Morbius. So Morbius shows up, which one of Morbius's powers is that he can hear stuff.
Yeah, his echolocation. Oh, in the trailer he goes, I've got some kind of weird radar. And I'm like, you mean like bat echolocation?
Yeah.
Like,
Which he should know because he's studying bats.
and he's a Batman.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
some kind of weird radar. I'm fucking 6 years old reading Zoo. I'm like, dude, echolocation in bats is so fucking dope. And Morbius is like, I got some kind of weird radar.
Yeah, it's just weird. Never has a bat ever had that. Never.
The bat's
There's
flying
a
over
fucking
him. It's
scene-
so funny.
You remember in Batman Begins whenever he stands in the bats and they're all swirling up like above him? Yeah, they do the same shit in Morbius. Like, oh no, we've never seen that before. Not once. Not with a single Batman. Anyways, Morbius shows up and the dad's like, you have to stop him. And then he dies. And then there's this like sad music that plays, but you don't give a shit because you've literally only seen this guy on screen for about 5 minutes.
And he's not very compassionate for his child figures either.
Not really, no. No.
Okay, keep going. You're doing great.
So then, as soon as his dad dies, he hears his love interest call out his name. She is literally miles away from him. She's on top of another building. But he can hear that. But he can't hear his father figure being slit open. So he flies.
He flies?
I don't know why. He does kind of a flying thing in the tunnel.
Is he a bat or a vampire or a?
He's a vampire. And a
Okay.
bat. He's Van Bat. And a man.
Bam, bam.
He's Morbius. So he kind of flies in the tunnel because he can like see the wind patterns or something like that, I guess is what they're trying to explain. So he flies up there and he can see his girlfriend's heartbeat. This scene that I'm about to explain, you have to see it. Like, it is so fucking weird. He lands on the rooftop. The girl's hurt because Matt Smith, like, I guess punctured her in the chest or in the neck, and she's like bleeding out. And Morbius is like, oh no, you're dying. And she's like, you have to use me. You can use me as like, you know, like
Just
drink
like
from me.
Blade.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like the end of Blade. Only Blade did it with the sexual.
Blade was
tension
fucking cool.
And
Oh.
awesome horribleness.
Oh, wait. They try to do sexual tension. So he goes in for a kiss. She bites his lip. He bleeds onto her upper lip, and she licks it. She goes, ugh, like that.
Oh.
Literally like that. Then she turns her neck. He bites her. And then he looks up. That motherfucker Matt Smith standing on the edge, ready to throw down. They tackle off of the building, and I don't know what happens. There's supposed to be a fight there. I don't know what happens.
What do you
I
mean?
can't fucking tell what happens. There's a point in it that it literally looks like you have your phone and somebody just threw it up in the air and it's recording.
Yeah.
Have no clue. I watched that motherfucker 4 times. And I mean, I zoned in on it in that particular moment. I still have no idea what the fuck happens when they fall off of a building.
Because you were like, look, I got to go back with knowledge of this movie.
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
be able to tell him what happened.
So there's a couple of scenes that I know what happens. They tackle each other off. They kind of scuffle. He throws him into a building and he hits a letter and then he falls down and then Matt Smith tackles him again and then there's a whole lot of commotion and then they're in the sewers.
The sewer.
So they have gotten into the New York sewers because they crash all the way through the road.
Okay.
Like they are all the way into the New York sewers.
Yeah.
He is hanging upside down like a bat.
Are we gonna meet Rat
It's
Boy
crazy.
soon?
It's so crazy. He's hanging upside down like a bat. Matt Smith is on the ground. Jared Leto's like, oh, man, I'm hurt. He doesn't say that. I'm just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And he flips down, and then he screams. And he just lays on the ground, his hands in this little puddle of water. Probably poo water because they're in a sewer. That doesn't matter. All these bats show up, and they start circling around Morbius. And then Matt Smith is just standing over there like, yo, that's weird, dog. So he's just looking at it, and Matt Smith grabs a piece of rebar, and he goes to run in. Then it cuts over. It does slow motion again while he's running, because that's a big thing in this movie. They want you to know that the villain walks in slow-mo.
Mm-hmm.
He's running slow motion. Bats spinning around Morbius. Morbius sees. Peter's just spinning around. Morbius sees Matt Smith coming in with rebar, and he has his hand out, and one bat, I don't know what the significance of this one bat is, comes around him, and all of a sudden he gets the idea. I can throw a Hadouken created out of bats at Matt Smith. He literally, I shit you not, he goes like this, and he throws it.
Does he really? Does he bring
Yes,
it down?
he brings it down and
No,
brings it up.
he does.
Yes, he does. He goes like that and brings it up. The bats fly into Matt Smith.
They were in his pocket the whole time.
No, they were swirling around him.
No.
So
Yeah.
he really doesn't.
He really does. I shit you not. He's like this. He goes like that. Like, he does that. I watched him do it 4 fucking times. He does it. I could not believe it. I was shook. I could not believe what I was seeing in the theater. Your Honor, I hold that whole damn theater in contempt in that moment. I could not believe it. Nobody thought it was cool in the theater. Nobody. Nobody thought it was cool. Not a single person. I'm dead serious. I have never heard a movie theater that quiet in my life.
Like not a single haha.
There was not a chuckle. There was not a huh. Nothing through the whole movie.
You should
not
have laughed
once.
just to make it fun.
There's a kid that said, "What was that?"
Yes. So he does that. A whole thing of bats hit Matt Smith. He's against the wall, and they're all like tying him or like biting into him and stuff. Morbius had created this fucking like, oh, it's an antibody mixed with some poison that can stun a bat and kill a man. Okay.
A plot device.
So he plugs the device. He sticks it in there, and he goes. Matt Smith goes, "Oh, you're killing me. Please don't kill me. I'm sorry." And then he dies. And then all the bats spin around Morbius. And then the 2 FBI agents decide to show up.
Okay.
Tyrese is now in a button-up, but he's got a tack vest over. He's got like the Kevlar.
Yeah, classic.
And you're like, oh, man, Tyrese about to do something.
Uh-huh.
So his buddy looks over in the hole. Bats fly out. Morbius shoots out. Cuts over to the rooftop where the lady got bit. Surprise, she's a vampire.
She's Ms. Morbius.
She is now Miss Morbius. Then Morbius is flying around in the movie.
There's 2 of them. Succubus.
I cannot tell you how shocking it is on how fast that movie ends. It is literally, here's the ending fight. He flies off, and just done. Now, I'm going to go into something.
Didac says that sounds dope.
Go give it a watch. I watched it 4 times. Go try it out.
Peter, give Didac the sub right there. That sounds dope.
First time chat.
Now, this next part, I'm dead serious. If anybody in the chat has not seen the new Spider-Man movie, you need to mute it or step away for a little bit. Because I'm about to go into the after credit scenes, and this fucking shit makes no sense. I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds. I'm counting down now.
Thank you, Susan.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay. Portal opens up in the sky. Cut over to the jail cell. Michael Keaton is standing in a jail cell.
That was the after credits.
Oh, wait. It gets better. So he's standing there, and he's like, well, I hope this prison's food is better. Cut over to an interview saying, I forgot what his name is, was found in this jail cell. He wasn't supposed to be there, so we set him loose. Continue running credits. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, they're going to bring Vulture into Morbius's universe.
That Spider-Man doesn't exist in.
Yeah.
So, cut to the next scene. Second scene. Jared Leto's driving through a desert. Looking like he's about to be in a Ralph Lauren cologne commercial or some shit.
You know, you mean when Tom Brady going, ow? Holy.
Yeah.
Wait, there's
yeah,
Remember that one?
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
there's
So,
two post-credit scenes.
yes, there's two.
My God.
Or Johnny Depp when he comes out of the dirt and he's like, "Yajor from Gior."
Yes, yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
So he pulls up out into this like desert-like area, and he gets out of the car and he stands in front of it. He's wearing a pretty sick bomber. I'll give him that. He's wearing a pretty sick coat. Jared Leto looked pretty dope in that scene. Looks out in the distance and he sees something coming towards him, and he hears, "Ooh," and it's getting closer. You're like, "Oh my God, is that Iron Man?" No, it's Vulture in full gear. And he's like, "Hey, I got brought into this world. I think it's Spider-Man's fault. I'm thinking of setting up a crew. Would you be interested?"
Oh.
He's in full Vulture gear,
Yeah.
Okay.
but he's in another dimension where Tony Stark does not exist. He made his gear from Stark Enterprise stuff. And he tells the guy, huh?
That doesn't exist.
Yes. He's wearing the exact same gear.
Oh, because Tony Stark is in Tom Holland's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. And who the fuck is Spider-Man? Morbius shouldn't fucking know. So then Morbius goes, "Sounds interesting." Cuts. They're still trying to make a fucking Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
If they were going to do it, they should have had Morbius go in the fucking Michael Keaton's world. Because it makes more fucking sense.
Yeah.
You're in a world where Spider-Man doesn't exist and Tony Stark didn't exist. What the fuck are you doing, Sony? It makes no sense.
They can't afford to pay Marvel.
They literally, in the trailer, they put Michael Keaton in a trailer in a scene that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Just to get people in seats. It blows my fucking mind. I cannot... What? That movie,
Whoever edits this, please put inaudible.
Who shakes? Okay, I'm sorry to cut back to this. They go to the love interest's house and she has a cat. The FBI agent shakes a litter box to find out where the cat is and goes, "Here, kitty, kitty." I've never in my life seen somebody shake a shit box
Your cat
to
doesn't
find
say,
somebody.
"Where's the shitter?"
Yes.
Okay, out of curiosity, are cats so stupid that you shake a litter box to get them to go come eat shit? You don't shake litter boxes?
I asked that on Twitter. I went, "Is that a thing that cat owners do?" Because I've never seen this.
No, never.
Ever.
No.
Your kitty, your kitty need to take a shit.
Hey, you need to go take a shit real quick. Come here, little kitty. Got your little shit pot here. I cannot. Like, there's movies that they're so bad you gotta watch them, and then there's movies that are so bad you just go, "Please don't make another one. Just stop. Just give it to the MCU. Like, say, hey, you can take these characters. We'll get a cut of it. Y'all make the movies. Y'all know what you're doing." Sony don't know what the fuck they're doing with the Spider-Verse. The only thing they know what they're doing with is with Miles Morales, because that movie is great. The rest of it,
I feel like I need a flow chart for this.
it's hold on. Let me look at some of my notes real quick. I got a notepad. Let me see what it says. Oh, it says the movie sucks. It's weird. Like, I have. Oh yeah, during a fight scene in the subway station. So Morbius and Matt Smith are literally like flying at each other, slamming each other in the walls. Pieces are flying everywhere. People are scared. They tackle each other. They slide across the ground, and a woman walks out of a room. And when she does, she doesn't go like scream or like run away. She just goes, "Goodness," and just walks right by. It took me out of the movie immediately, because you just hear this like, "Ah!" and this guy going, "Ah!" and this woman walks out and goes, "Goodness," and just walks away. I can't believe it. I cannot believe what I saw today. I will literally say,
Hoggers.
it is nowhere near as good as Sing 2. Sing 2 is God tier compared to this movie.
I'm sorry I have put you through that. I'm sorry they put you through that.
So,
I'll open it up to the. I'll take some questions. Go ahead.
so,
Huh?
so he is a bad guy.
Thanks, baby.
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm gonna go ahead and answer that for you. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Don't know.
think that's confusing.
So you don't know if he's a bad guy.
No. Well, I mean, he's trying to join the Sinister Six, which are bad guys. So, and he's also trying to join up with a person he's never met.
Was this a PG-13 movie?
Yes.
Do you describe a lot of blood? How did that
That,
work?
actually, that is something that I'm quite impressed with. In the PG-13 movie, you see a guy get a piece of, like, a wall panel. Matt Smith rips a piece of a wall panel off and throws it into a dude's eye. And you don't see the full thing, but whenever he lands on the ground, you see it sticking out of his eye. And blood, splatters onto the wall.
Hoggers.
It's kind of interesting.
So is this super gory or not?
No,
So
no.
there's not like copious, because when you describe everything, I'm like, in my head I see buckets.
I
of
think
blood
you're
everywhere.
assuming some things,
Yeah,
right?
I'm seeing buckets of blood everywhere with what he's describing, right? But you're saying that it's pretty well censored for a PG.
Oh, yeah. It's very well censored.
But like you saying.
Oh, yeah. That's
saying
right.
She bites his lip and then she licks it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. It's red, not blood. It's red. I know. It's hard. It's tough realizing what's red and what's blue in that movie. It'll blow your mind. I couldn't believe it. I'm still so good. Any more questions? I have a question. Did you get some popcorn? I did not. I cannot eat popcorn at the moment. I will honestly say I think that's the worst Marvel movie ever made. I thought, like, after watching it, the only one I could kind of come close to with that is, like, Ghost Rider. You remember how weird Ghost Rider was? Had that, like, weird vibe the whole movie, and you're just like, what am I watching? That's pretty much Morbius. What song did he dance to? That's the most important thing. I don't know what song it was. It was something that was like, boom, it's sex, and boom, and sex. And he's doing this. And he's actually in pretty good shape. Like, I'll give it to Matt Smith. He's in pretty good shape. He isn't in good shape as Jared Leto is, though. Jared Leto got the big old man chest in that movie. It's crazy. He got the big old boobs. He did great. Would you rather watch Morbius or Eternals? I'd watch Eternals over Morbius.
Would you really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's
Because
shorter.
CGI and that's at least decent.
He saves an hour of his life.
Yeah. I have another question. Was the theater nice and warm/cold? It was all right. The seats kind of sucked, but other than that, it was all right.
Yeah. Well, Grayson, I have even worse news.
What's that?
This is not related to work at all.
Okay.
But you know how I was going to come over to your house and watch WrestleMania with you?
Uh-huh.
You can't buy food because I had to cancel.
You dropping this shit on me now?
Yeah.
Now, after 4 sit-throughs of WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, but of Morbius, you drop the shit on me now.
Yes.
On this fucking day.
Yeah. Because Grayson, I bought you and me tickets to WrestleMania in AT&T Stadium.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
No way. Are you serious?
I am.
On what day?
Wow!
On Saturday.
Are you serious?
Wow!
No, you're not. You're fucking with me. Are you serious?
And then on Sunday.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Are you
Jet's so
serious?
excited.
No way.
I bought them a couple weeks ago.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Are you fucking with me?
Uh-huh.
You are fucking with me?
No. I
Are you
got
are you fucking with me? Is there proof?
There's proof.
We watched videos on the best seating.
I'm going to fuck you up. I want to emotionally
We
crash you so
compared
hard.
videos over years of different concerts and wrestling matches.
I know it's April Fool's Day. Are you fucking
Oh,
with
that's
me?
just true. No, it's
Yeah, are you fucking with me?
You and me are going to WrestleMania.
Are you serious?
On Saturday, we got upper deck seats. On Sunday, we got seats you're not going to fucking believe.
Are you fucking with me right now?
Mm-mm. I got you WrestleMania tickets. I was going to have Tip record your reaction tomorrow, but I just wanted to fuck you.
whole time?
She knew the whole time.
I've never been.
We're going-
That's like legit. Like that's the oh I don't know what to say.
Oh, and
Don't
never
cry.
mind. I don't know if you want to tell him. But
How did you keep that from me?
Easy, but I didn't want you to buy the food for tomorrow yet. So I thought
I
I'd,
almost
I think
bought
he's
it last
angry
night.
grocery
I'm
shopping
sorry.
tonight.
I thought I'd tell you right now that you and me tomorrow we're going to WrestleMania, and then on Sunday we're going to WrestleMania, and legit, I got us some seats that I was scared we're gonna be too close. We are gonna go fuck it up at Cowboy Stadium for WrestleMania.
I've never been to Cowboy Stadium. I don't know what to say, dude. Like, I can't believe this.
Well, you're not getting a birthday present. That's about it.
I mean, that's fine.
For a couple of years.
we're gonna just talk.
Maybe ever.
That was
Oh
actually-
my god, dude! Like, thank you so much. Dude, I fucking love you, man. Thank you. Like that is legit. That is something that like never in a million years that I think I was ever going to be able to do, and you did it for me. Like, you have no idea what that means to me.
Let's do it.
Like, you really don't know. Like you don't know, man. Thank you so much.
Oh no. Oh no.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
That means the world to me.
are you gonna cry?
I already am. Thank you. Seriously, man, thank you. That is the world to me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Grace would talk about wrestling, but that is the world. That is the world. Holy shit.
no.
I had no idea.
Don't cry. I just wanted to dump it on him since he's so down or so low for Morpheus.
Yeah, I feel like a good time to.
Oh, man.
Wanted to use him for content. It's a lot easier to just cut that than to upload it to Twitter later. Don't
It's
cry.
true. Are you crying, Chelsea?
Chelsea crying.
Cry all the time.
It's okay.
Thank you.